the public defender coming to me when I was in the jail cell, and he said, well, I'm your public defender. I looked over your case, and the best deal we can give you is 3.5 years. And I didn't even know how to handle that.
Well, hello, Ray.
Hey, how are you?
Good. Thank you so much for stopping by here at the studio. I know that you have a story that you like to share with us, your story. And I've heard bits and pieces of your story, but it's going to be a blessing just to hear you share with me at this time and with the church.
My mom and dad, they got married when they were like 16 and 17 years old, and they both dropped out of school. My dad, he was you know what a recap man is? No. You would put rubber on tires. Yeah, and he had this offer in California if he moved his family from Missouri out to California. So we all came out here when I was like 4 years old, and I think for a while I thought all my dad did all of his life is change tires and all that. I didn't really think too much of that, you know, of him as being achieving a high goal or anything. But then as life went by, you know, I mean, we didn't have a lot, you know, but we always sat around the table and we always had a place to live and we had the necessities that we needed. So I guess he did an all right job just being a tire changer guy. But when I was in school, I was kind of bullied. I had some kids burn cigarettes out on my arm, and I just kind of, you know, I don't want to have anything to do with this. So I was just like my parents, dropped out of school. And up until I was 40 years of age, I couldn't really read. I had probably a second, third grade education of reading. There was a time where you know, I left home and I kind of wandered away, and you know, the prodigal son story. And I found myself, I'm not going to get into all the things that I did, but I ended up going to jail twice. The first time was just a short period of time, and then it kind of happened again. And I remember the public defender coming to me when I was in the jail cell, and he said, well, I mean, I never even met the guy before. It was like 5 minutes before I go see the judge. And he says, well, I'm your public defender. I looked over your case, and the best deal we can give you is 3.5 years. And I didn't even know how to handle that. And we went into the courtroom, and the judge said my name, said, how do you plead? And I didn't even really know what to say. And so I said, Your Honor, I would like to be released so I could hire a real lawyer. I'm not satisfied with the public defender. And the judge says, granted. You have 1 year to show up in my court, and we will resolve this. So within that time, that year, I pretty much became homeless, and I lived in a tent for like a year. And but somebody let me put my tent in their yard, so I had a mailing address. Wow. Yeah, and then after that, I did my time. I went back to the court, and with the new lawyer, he got it down to 6 months. Now, what was the big thing about that is anything over a year is state penitentiary. And since I did 6 months, it's county time. So I went to a county jail for 6 months. So that was way better. But I got out, and there was this guy that was aerating lawns, and he let me work for him for a while. and then he stopped doing it. And I asked him if I could borrow his equipment or buy it off of him, and he said sure. He wasn't going to use it anymore, and he knew I didn't have any money. It allowed me to make payments and everything. And now this year I've been doing it for 40 years, so that's a long time. But back to the church. I just want to, let people know that you're not too far away from God, that He can't fix things.
I believe that there was a moment that really changed your life, and that was when you met a Seventh-day Adventist.
Yeah.
So I'd like to give you some time to just share that with us.
Well,
how did that change your life for the better?
I'm living in Redwood City, and this guy next door to me, he was kind of a dumpster diver kind of a guy. And he found this electric blanket, and he brought it to his house and burned his house down. And poor guy. But how it worked for my benefit is after he moved, the spot where he was kind of vacant. And on the other side was this guy that was a Seventh-day Adventist, and we started talking, and he invited me to a Friday night service. And Mark Farrell from San Francisco Central, pastor there, he was the pastor at Redwood City at that time, and he was talking about that Friday night, when did dinosaurs exist using the Bible, and I thought that was fascinating. And everybody started saying after that service was over, we'll see you in the morning. And I'm thinking, in the morning, tomorrow's Saturday. But I showed up, and finally I understood that Saturday, the seventh day of the week, is the Sabbath. And so I started going to that church. But he had, after I was going there for a little while, he had this sermon on the Great Commission. And the Great Commission sermon was telling me, because I felt it was talking to me, that I need to go out throughout all the world, teach and baptize people. And I'm thinking, my parents weren't educated. I dropped out of school. I went to jail. Nobody wants to hire me. I've got I got to kind of defend on myself. And how am I going to do this? I really felt unqualified, I guess. And so I talked to God about it. Actually, I was mad at God. We had a kind of an argument, but it was one-sided because I was the only one yelling. But yeah, but he just enabled me. I started reading the Bible. I've read the Conflict of Ages series. I started reading the stories, a book on the sanctuary, and a lot of spirit prophecy books. And my education, really, of reading came from Adventist literature. And so I kind of felt like, wow, God is enabling me to do this Great Commission. But He said, go throughout all the world. And I've always kind of felt myself as not as good as other people, because of my shortcomings. I didn't think people were better than me, but I thought I was less than people. And I've had that throughout my whole life. And probably even a little bit today, yeah. But in this conversation with God and this enablement, I never thought it would turn into what it is now. I got in a Facebook account, and so it's kind of strange, because now I kind of feel like, after all these years, now I'm kind of equipped a little better than maybe some, and I think, wow, God is really cool how He could do that. But then in about 22 years ago, because I came in Adventist when I was 40, and that was 2001, and here we are, 2024. Right around that time, I joined Facebook, and I didn't see how I didn't even connect God was going to do this, but the things that I post are religious related. Quotes, Bible quotes, Spirit of Prophecy quotes, try to have some fun with a few things. But now my following on that is like 4,500 people. And I don't know how many people that they see their stuff. So, I mean, it's astronomical. So I may maybe not going physically throughout all the world, but the message that God has enabled me to learn to read, bring these things together, put them on Facebook, and people all over the world are making comments. I've sent Bibles out to other countries. I like giving people Bibles. That's another thing I like doing. It's God's Word, And my mom and dad, I brought a picture of my mom and dad here. I don't know if you guys could see it, but that's my mom and dad. They both have passed away, resting in the grave, waiting for Jesus. My dad, he wasn't a very healthy guy. He died when he was like 67 years old. My mom just died this last year. She made it to 88. But I think they knew that I was in trouble when I was younger, but they weren't really, I don't think, equipped to handle that. But they were always there to say, you could come home, whatever it takes, So I'm very thankful for my parents. I mean, some people come from a lot of means, and we didn't. But, whatever you got, you give. But with God and me learning to read and this message going throughout all the world, you can't say, I don't think anybody can say, I can't, because God enables you. And I think I'll just leave it at that.
Man, well,
yeah.
Brother Ray, that was a powerful story, and it just reminds me that God is looking for willing hearts.
Yeah.
People who are willing to take the message and share it with the world.
Yeah.
And you've been a tremendous blessing to me and to the church, and obviously to the people that are following you on Facebook and to the people that you encounter on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah.
So thank you for sharing your story.
Oh, you bet.
And I'm sure that we'll all be blessed, or those who listen to this testimony will be blessed.
Amen. I hope so.